Hello everyone, and welcome to the Middle Ages channel. Today, we're diving headfirst into the vibrant, chaotic, and absolutely essential heart of any medieval town, the market square. Forget the quiet, romanticized images you might have. Imagine instead a riot of sounds, smells, and sights. This wasn't just a place to buy your bread and cheese. It was the social media, the news channel, and the entertainment hub of its day, all rolled into one bustling, muddy space. So grab your coin purse, keep an eye out for pickpockets, and let's step back in time to experience a day in the life of a medieval market. Picture this. The sun is just beginning to rise, casting a soft glow over the timber frame houses that line the square. But the town is already wide awake. Carts, pulled by weary oxen or donkeys, are creaking and groaning their way through the city gates. Farmers from the surrounding countryside have been traveling since before dawn, their wagons piled high with the fruits of their labor. You'd see heaps of fresh vegetables, baskets of eggs, and perhaps a few live chickens squawking in a cage. The air is still cool, but it's already starting to fill with the earthy smell of damp soil, livestock, and baking bread from the nearby baker's oven. The market is about to begin. As the morning progresses, the square transforms into a living, breathing organism. The noise level rises to a constant hum, punctuated by loud cries. "Fresh fish! Caught this morning!" shouts a fisherman, his stall reeking of the sea. "Fine wool from the Cotswolds! Best in the land!" bellows a merchant, holding up a thick, creamy fleece. Every seller is a performer, their voice a tool to attract customers. You'd have to shout to be heard over the din of haggling, the bleating of sheep, the hammering from the blacksmith's forge just off the square, and the ever-present ringing of the church bells, marking the hours of the day. Let's talk about what you could actually buy here. The variety was astonishing, and it was all incredibly local. The farmer's wife might be selling pots of honey, wheels of sharp, crumbly cheese, and butter wrapped in cabbage leaves. Next to her, a butcher, his apron stained and his cleaver sharp, would be carving up a pig, with everything from sausages to trotters on display. You could find grains of all kinds: wheat, rye, barley, sold by the measure. A baker's stall would be a haven of warmth, offering up loaves of dark, dense rye bread for the poor and finer, whiter wheat bread for the wealthy. It wasn't just food. You'd find stalls selling rough-spun cloth, leather goods like belts and shoes, wooden bowls and spoons carved by a local craftsman, and perhaps even a potter with a colorful array of jugs and plates. Everything you needed to live was right here. But the market was far more than just a shopping center. It was the information superhighway of the Middle Ages. Standing by the central fountain, you could overhear all the latest news and gossip. Did you hear the Lord's daughter is to be married? Is it true the neighboring village had a bad harvest? Rumors of war, news of the king's health, or tales from traveling pilgrims would all spread like wildfire through the crowd. Official proclamations were made here too. A town crier, bell in hand, would stand on the steps of the market cross and announce new laws, taxes, or royal decrees for all to hear. If you wanted to know what was happening in your world, you came to the market. It was also a place of justice and punishment. In the center of many squares stood the stocks or the pillory. This was public humiliation as a form of law enforcement. Someone found guilty of a minor crime, like selling watered-down ale or short-waiting a customer, would be locked in for all to see. The crowd wouldn't be sympathetic. They'd jeer, shout insults, and sometimes throw rotten vegetables or mud at the unfortunate person. It was a grim form of entertainment, but also a powerful warning to others to trade honestly and abide by the town's rules. More serious sentences, like hangings, often took place in or near the square, serving as the ultimate, stark reminder of the law's power. As midday approaches, the market reaches its peak intensity. The smells become a thick soup in the air. You have the sweetness of fruit and honey, the savory aroma of meat pies being sold by a street vendor, the sharp tang of vinegar, the musky scent of leather, all mixed with the less pleasant odors of unwashed bodies, animal dung, and waste thrown into the central gutter. It's crowded. you'd be jostling shoulder to shoulder with people from every walk of life. A wealthy merchant's wife in her fine clothes and veil might be bargaining for spices next to a poor peasant in a simple tunic. You'd see friars in their brown robes, soldiers in their livery, and children darting through the crowd, either running errands or looking for an opportunity to snatch an apple from an unattended stall. And you had to be careful. The market was a prime location for pickpockets and cut purses. These thieves were masters of their craft, able to slice the strings of a purse from a belt without the owner ever noticing. You'd also have to watch out for con artists. A traveling quack might set up a small stage, promising a miracle cure-all elixir that was probably nothing more than spiced wine. Another might be running a game of chance, like the cup and ball trick designed to part a fool from his money. The principle of buyer beware was a harsh reality of market life. You had to have your wits about you at all times. But it wasn't all danger and grime. The market was a place of immense fun and entertainment. Traveling performers or minstrels were a common sight. They would find a clear spot, lay down a rug, and begin their show. You might see a juggler tossing knives, an acrobat tumbling, or a musician playing a lively tune on a lute or a pipe. A storyteller might gather a crowd of children and adults alike, captivating them with tales of heroic knights, mythical beasts, and faraway lands. For a few coins, these performers offered a welcome escape from the daily grind. On special occasions, like a major feast day, the entire square might be taken over for a festival, with plays, dancing, and even mock tournaments. The market also played a crucial role in the town's economy, through guilds. The various crafts and trades were organized into these powerful associations. The weavers, the bakers, the blacksmiths. Each guild had strict rules about quality, price, and who was allowed to practice that trade. Often the houses of the most prominent guild members would be the ones facing the market square, their ground floors serving as workshops and storefronts. This system ensured a certain standard of quality. If you bought a pair of shoes from a member of the Cordwainers Guild, you knew they would be well made, because the guild's reputation depended on it. This also meant competition was tightly controlled, making it difficult for outsiders to set up shop. As the afternoon sun begins to dip lower in the sky, the market begins to wind down. The sellers start packing up their remaining goods. The farmer hitches up his ox, his cart now significantly lighter. The baker sells off his last few loaves at a discount. The volume of the crowd begins to decrease as people head home for their evening meal. The town's officials might do a final sweep, checking for anyone trying to conduct business after the closing bell. The day's energy slowly dissipates, like air leaking from a balloon. By evening, the square is almost unrecognizable. It's nearly empty, save for a few stray dogs scavenging for scraps. The ground is littered with the debris of the day. Discarded vegetable leaves, straw, and other refuse. Teams of street cleaners, if the town was wealthy enough to employ them, would come through with brooms and carts to clear away the worst of the mess. The smells still linger, but the cacophony has been replaced by a weary quiet. The stalls are empty frames. The houses are dark except for the warm flicker of candlelight in the windows. The vibrant heart of the town has gone to sleep, ready to beat again with the rising of the sun. So the next time you walk through a historic market square in a European city, take a moment. Try to imagine it not as a clean, quiet tourist spot, but as it once was, a loud, smelly, crowded, and utterly vital center of medieval life. It was a place of opportunity and of danger, of community and of conflict, of justice and of entertainment. It was where life, in all its messy, glorious, and difficult reality, was lived out in the open for all to see. It was the true stage of the Middle Ages. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey back in time. If you enjoyed this glimpse into medieval life, please hit that like button, subscribe to the Middle Ages channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next adventure. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious.